Okay, so I'm going to go into a couple of things today. I have a very strong pull to pull out a card today. It's like someone needs to hear something. It's a very specific deck that I kind of feel like needs to happen. So before we go into daily accountability, I'll do our little pep talk like I usually do, and then I'm gonna do this card thing because there's like a really strong pull. Somebody needs a message here, or somebody who's listening to this replay, or like whenever you hear this is your time to hear it. But there's definitely something that needs to come out for you, and I've got the sense that it's quite urgent because I was thinking, well, it can come out on Thursday when I normally do it, but it can't. It can't wait. There, that's all I know. So we'll find out what that is in a second. But today we are continuing on with our 24 steps to create that dream virtual assistant business that you're going to love, that's going to provide for you, that's going to support you both emotionally, financially, all that good stuff. And the third step is learn the principles. Okay, so, and this is really important, and this is what so many virtual assistants tend not to pay attention to. I know, Nikki, I don't know whether it is for you, but something needs to occur today. So I'm pulling out that message. So learning the principles is really all about like really getting super clear on how you are going to set the tone to move forward in your virtual assistant business. And there are a few things that I would say are really essential. I've created a set of principles in one sourcing. I did this very specifically because I knew that until those principles were in my virtual assistant business, I was leaving the door open for chaos. Without these principles, the best way I can describe it is like taking a bunch of little kids to a playground and letting them loose and leaving the gate open. And then suddenly you realize there's a kid missing. What do we do? It's just like, it's chaos. So the reason why I've created these principles is so we can keep some kind of order in our business. And I'm a big believer in organization. I'm a big believer in having guidelines, having principles. I'm not necessarily talking about laying down the law. I'm talking about what's best and what's healthiest for the good of the business, the good of the client, and the good of the person running the business, which is you. So learning the principles, there's a few things that I want to share with you very specifically. These are a handful of the main key ones, which are learning how to lead your client. Okay, in this situation, in a virtual assistant situation, if we don't learn how to lead our client, then the client will start leading us, and that will generally lead to having a business that you don't necessarily want because you're bending and shaping around the client leading you. So learning how to lead your client is very important in this dynamic, especially in one sourcing. Learning how to effectively collaborate online is an essential because otherwise that can lead to a lot of misunderstanding. Learning how to price your services, not just for profit, not just to make ends meet even, not just to bring in some money, but making sure you know how to price your services where you are going to be able to still have that freedom, that time freedom, but yet still have the financial resources and that profit. That's something else you need to learn. Another principle is learning how best to present your offer. It's incredible the number of virtual assistants that just go into the business thinking, well, I offer this service, how else am I going to explain it? There are multiple ways to share an offer, and knowing how to best present your offer is going to mean the difference between getting the client or not. It's going to mean the difference between having that successful business or not. It really is how you frame it, how you approach it, how you present it, how you package it. Very, very important. You need to learn how to do that. Then you need to learn how to manage both your time and your money, and do that in such a way, again, which is for the good of the business, the client, and for the person running it, which is you. And then there is also the other one, which is how to easily pivot and expand in your business. Okay, so when I talk about pivoting, expanding, I'm talking about if someone throws a curveball, you know exactly what to do as soon as that happens. This is, again, it's built into the whole foundation of one sourcing. It's part of the levels of one sourcing, is to learn how to pivot and how to also expand. Because a lot of us as VAs, sometimes we go so far, but then we get stuck either on a, like a financial kind of cap or a ceiling where we think, I can't go any further than this. But there are many different directions and many things that you can do to take things to the next level, which again we cover in one sourcing. And then the final one that I wanted to share with you is making sure that you are able to put in place fair terms, again, for the business, for the client, and for you. It's all about making sure the business stays solid, stays alive, stays stable, so we're always thinking about that with these principles, and we're always thinking about the client with these principles, because without the client we don't have the business. And then obviously we're always thinking about ourselves, because if we're unhappy, tired, burnt out, overwhelmed, all that stuff, not spending enough time on ourselves, with our family, not having that personal time, and we're just throwing everything into the business, then that is also detrimental for the long-term longevity and sustainability of the business. So if you can factor in these principles, if you can really get clear on them, if you can really know and understand how the business is going to move forward based on these principles, you can pretty much tackle any challenge that comes your way. You can pretty much fix, resolve, tackle, iron out, all of that good stuff. Any challenge, any question mark moment, what am I doing? What have I done? Why isn't this working? All of that, it can really be fixed, resolved, and put back together again by following these principles. Those are a few of the core ones that I've shared with you there. There are obviously a lot more. We can only cover so much inside these sessions, but obviously throughout the whole of one sourcing, then we're going to expand on this a little bit more. But if you want to check out what all of these steps are, because we're isolating these into video by video, you can go to virtualmissfriday.com/level up, so you can watch the masterclass for about 30 minutes, and you'll also get a book and a guide and a checklist with all the steps laid out for you as to what you need to know. So go forth, prosper, create that incredible virtual assistant business, and follow these guidelines. That was step 3. We'll be back here again tomorrow with step 4. I'm going to do this card reading because there's really this sense of urgency. It's grating on me right now. So let's just do this. And then after we do this quick card pull, we are going to go into our daily accountability, which is also non-negotiable. And I think I've mentioned that before. So we're ready. What does somebody here need to know? Oh my God. Okay. It's really I don't know what's going on. Okay, there's definitely an urgent message of someone's wanting to do something, or getting the feeling of giving up, or potentially giving up. And there is this feeling of not being heard. Nobody's listening to me. It's really weird. Okay, so somebody out here who's listening to this message, whether it's live or on a replay, there's something that somebody urgently wants you to not give up on. The message is to persist with this. It says here, may your ripples build the swell, which means you might feel like you're chipping away at this, massive, huge boulder with this tiny little pick, but you're actually making a lot more progress than you think you are. And it's almost like these it's almost like a dam, you know, like you keep chipping away and then suddenly something huge is going to happen. So but it's only going to do that if you don't give up, if you keep persisting. And it's almost like these tiny little things you're chipping away at, they feel so insignificant to you, they feel like it's nothing, like I'm not doing anything, I'm not even making a dent in this, you know, and I've got this big idea or plan or a journey ahead of me, and I feel like I'm still on, you know, on the starting blocks. The message to you is keep persisting and keep doing it and keep moving forward. And you have to make that decision. And once you decide, you really need to understand that there's no going back from that decision. This is a very significant decision that needs to be made right now. There's no going back for it. I almost feel like it's like making the decision to kind of like quit a job or cut somebody off, or it's kind of like that do or die trying type thing, you know, like it's the finality, it's the decision. It's like there's no in between here. It's left or it's right, and you've got to make that decision. But the message is to navigate forward with that decision with something that is going to give you purpose in life, okay? So the right decision is the decision where you feel that you will have the most purpose. If that's a relationship, that will be going with the person who you feel you love the most, I guess. If it's about a job or a career shift or something like that, it will be the thing where you will feel most fulfilled, you know, that most fulfilling person, that most fulfilling job. Whatever it is, something's got to cut off. And once that's done, the door is closed, it's locked, and the key's thrown away. There is no going back. So you must decide wisely, and decide with purpose in mind, with, it's almost like that solid, definite, you're willing to know that there's no going back, and you're willing to persist to move forward. And then finally, the final part of this message is there's a concern that somebody is not going to support you, somebody might be disagreeing with you, somebody might be very resistant to it or hesitant to it. And the final message here is that you will be heard if you're brave enough to move forward and do it. So may your brave call be carried in the wind. So if you are deadly serious about this and you say, this is what I want to do, and this is how it's happening, and I know when I close that door there's no opening it again, then you absolutely will be heard by the people that you are feeling are not hearing you right now, are not listening to you, and you are going to have that support that you don't feel like you're potentially going to have. So that feeling of, if I go forward and do this, I'm afraid I'm not going to have the support that I really need, or if someone's going to disagree with it, someone significant, they will hear you if you absolutely stay strong and stay true and you're brave enough. If you go into it with a lack of confidence and a hesitancy and a tentativeness, you will not be heard. Someone will say, look at you, you're a mess. Like, how do you even expect to do this? But if you go forward into this with persistence, with drive, with knowing the door is closing and I don't care, I'm still moving forward, then whoever it is that you're concerned is not going to support you with this will hear you. They might not immediately come around. So I think there might be a little bit of delay there, but it won't matter to you because you've already made your decision, you're already moving forward. So no matter what anybody says or does, it's done. Like, you're doing this. But the point is, if you're brave enough, if you have the confidence enough to go to that person and say, this is happening, this is my decision, they will hear you. Might take them a little bit of a while to come around, but eventually they will support this decision and they will have your back. That's the message. I don't know who that was for, but there we go. If it was for you, do leave a comment or let me know privately. I don't mind. But thank you anyway. So let's get on for our daily accountability. Get your journals at the ready because we're going to pull through this now. You're welcome, Nikki. Thank you. And I shall see you back here tomorrow for another step on our virtual assistant journey. In the meantime, have a wonderful day ahead, sending lots of positive vibes and energy. And I shall see you back here tomorrow for another day of accountability. Take care.
So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action.
I made £10,000 by the 25th of May 2024. I have in my possession I weigh 83 kilos or less by the 14th of June 2024. I paid Will back £7,200 English pounds by the 1st of September 2024.
Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.